be here, and thank you for my friends and my soon-to-be possibly friends that are here. As I was introduced, and I don't think it's fair that he gets to read and I don't, but that's okay. So I just want to say that as a licensed mental health counselor and a trauma and board certified counselor, that I work with populations such as addictions, suicidal tendencies, self-harming behaviors, and also personality disorders and the likes. And those populations, leading a meaningful life is something that is like a touchstone in order for them to really get in touch with it. And I just want to put in a disclaimer. The name of this is What is True Happiness? You know, how do I lead a meaningful life? And the research that I did showed that although happiness is very important, it is not the cornerstone, it is not the foundation for leading a meaningful life. So if you have the population, such as myself, that they may never have known what true happiness was. So how could they derive leading a meaningful life from something that they have no reference to? So I have some very special things to share with you all today. And first of all, I'd like to be able to start by doing a little exercise with all of us. And I'd like you, if you can, to take a deep breath in and release. And if some of my friends are here, they'll know this, like wipe down your limbs, right? Like to get any unwanted energy, shake it out. If you want to stand up a moment, uncross your arms and your legs, that blocks our energy. And we want to find our solar plexus, which is about a hand width above the navel, below the rib cage. And that is the center of our personal power, where we derive meaning, personal meaning from. And it's a powerful center, and it's our inner sun. So now when we're going to be taking some deep breaths in, I'm going to ask you to visualize that you're taking it into your solar plexus, which is about here. And I'm going to ask you to just breathe in, hold, and then exhale, and that's how we're going to roll. So what I want you to do is think about a time in your life that inspired you, that brought you true joy, a joy-filled thought, and bring it to your mind's eye as you inhale it into your solar plexus, into your power center. And just hold it there a moment. Now exhale. And now I want you to think about what might inspire you, what might bring meaning to your life. If you could do anything, that money and time were not an issue, what would that be? And take that and let's breathe it into your solar plexus, hold it, and release. Now for our next breath, what I'd like you to do is take those two visions and merge them and bring them into your solar plexus. Something that you're inspired about, that if you had no concerns, that you would be doing it, no money or time concerns. Breathe that into your solar plexus and hold. And when you exhale, release that into the universe to prosper and to grow. And I want you now to just feel that tingle of excitement of what the possibilities could be. And if you have your phone or you have something to jot it down, right? Because that might be something that you could expound upon later, that you could sit with this in your own time and your own comfort and be able to do it. So I just want to say that I'm here to talk about lead a meaningful life. I already explained that happiness really does not tie into that. But through years, we have such great minds such as Gail, Frankl, Nietzsche, that, you know, all areas of psychology and philosophy have been looking to find like the true meaning of life. And who am I, in the short time up here, that's going to really explain it to you? But I'm going to take some renowned experts and some true life experiences and weave them together. And hopefully we'll be able to have something that's going to be a good takeaway, or something positive in your life, or maybe open up your mind to something that you may not have thought of before. So just know that I really hopefully wish to convey something that you could take away from this. So I'm going to read a quote. Now listen, I have these adorable slides up here, and I thought that you all were going to see them, but I'm going to tell you they're cute, and if you want to sneak over, you can go. So, how do I lead a meaningful life? Well, the meaning of life differs from man to man, from day to day, from hour to hour. What matters, therefore, is not the meaning of life in general, but rather the specific meaning of a person's life in a given moment. And that's from Viktor Frankl. And Viktor Frankl, as some of you may know, he was a well-known psychiatrist and psychotherapist. He created an intervention called logotherapy. And that was based from his time in the 1940s being a prisoner of the Nazi concentration camps. And he has a book called Meaning of Life. And I think that's it. I might be, you know, twisting it around now. But he speaks about what is a will to meaning. And that is, how do we take tragedy, adverse, I guess, things in our life, how do we take that and turn that into a positive? He took his agony at the time of being a Holocaust survivor, and he held on to that as his will to live and how to make his life meaningful from such a horrific instance. And so that, I think, is very powerful, right? How do we take tragedy and turn it and have it be something that touches us and just creates something that's positive from that? So now this one is really cute because it's supposed to be a picture of someone, and it's really about some real life experiences I'd like to illustrate and bring in to this talk today. So we have a teenager, young, early teens, that now lives in a large city park, wondering how are they going to be safe, what's bringing like a sense of safety to their life. And for that teenager, right, we think back to Frankl's quote, right, at that moment, at that time. So for that teenager, that perhaps finding a safe place to sleep that night or having a hot shower in the morning is going to bring meaning to their life. And then you have another teen that's, again, a young teenager that flees their home, escapes their home from severe abuse. And they go live in a commune. Now they're surrounded by like-minded souls. They have like-minded souls, no authority figure, right? Like it sounds all good. That there's a sense of safety and community because they're fleeing an abusive home. And now it just feels like this connection. And all they care about is numbing those memories, getting high, getting down and dirty, and just numbing those painful memories. Then they proceed to go steal a wreath off somebody's door because the holiday season is coming. And that brings meaning and value into their life. So there are three elements said to be common in many definitions in leading a meaningful life. The first one is significance, or the individual's sense that one's life matters. The second one is coherence, the extent to which life roles and experiences fit together. And so if you think about like the coherence, right, in those two past examples, that makes sense for the teenagers to think that that's life meaning at that point in time, right? Because that's all they know. And then number three is purpose, the perception that one's life has focus and contributes to something greater than oneself. Now with these two teenagers, they cannot even wrap their head around number three as far as purpose. Their purpose is to survive, right? That's not even in the realm of their possibility. Now, we just have some other examples. So we have somebody middle-aged that they had a very difficult upbringing, and therefore they just have shunned any type of help. And there's just like this little slice of willingness to allow just some helping, a little bit of vulnerability, because of their life. This person had no trust, no faith in anybody, not the system, not society, but they just have this little slice of willingness to perhaps get some help and maybe consider passing something on down the road. And then you have somebody else, let's just say around that same age, and they decide, because they had an 8th grade education, that they are going to go later in life, go on and go to higher education and perhaps make something of themselves, right? So all we need is a moment of clarity, just that one, right? Like willingness is the key. And sometimes willingness is not available. So just having that little bit of clarity could create this gigantic life shift. And that is really powerful. And so how do you take tragedy and allow that to propel you in a way that is going to be positive, right? Tragedy alone is not what's important. Tragedy is about feeling it within yourself, being able to actively reflect upon it, think about it, and then say, from tragedy, what am I going to be bringing forward in my life? I want you all to think about the past couple of years, right? Think about COVID and the lockdown. Not too pleasant a thought. We had things that we might have taken for granted, right? We lost our social connections, our social interactions, going to the grocery store 24/7, grieving with our tribe, even buying toilet paper. These were things that we took for granted. And so what happens with that? You could have one person that gets bitter from that, the effects that the pandemic had on us, or you could have somebody else that takes those same experiences and internalizes it in a way that they now have an awareness and gifts that maybe they did not know. Bring a sense of gratitude, maybe bringing a life meaning that before the pandemic was not even a thought in their mind. And again, if you're comfortable, you could close your eyes, uncross your arms, your legs. And I want you to think back as you breathe into your solar plexus about COVID and that time. What did that bring to you? What life changes might that have brought to you that bring a meaning to your life? And maybe nothing came from it, but maybe now that it's in your awareness, that it's to the forefront of your mind, that maybe now it will create some kind of shift or some kind of gift that came out of that, right? It really depends upon the individual, as you saw in the example, that two people could experience the same thing in a different lens.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk a bit about Baumeister and Vaz. They're psychologists, and this is about research. They relate the quest for meaning in life with the following needs: purpose. Current events draw meaning from their connection to future outcomes, right? Actionable goals and personal life satisfaction. Values. What can explain certain courses of action and efficacy, the belief that one's life indeed can make a difference, and self-worth, reasons for trusting that one is a worthy person, and the result from engaging in our natural talents or where we excel. So I just want you to think about that as we just go. Is that really 15 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me? I must have had some kind of blackout.
That's Gail.
I can't believe it.
I love you. Oh my God. She's so funny.
So, I just, one more please. Okay. All right. Oh my goodness, nothing like the deadline. So I want to talk about like these two other people. They both hit rock bottom. One says, the hell with it, I am not going to do anything, maybe, and then the other one hits rock bottom and they decide to get sober and they decide to lead a meaningful life. And I have this other cute slide about Chiron, which is a wounded healer. If anybody knows about Chiron from Greek mythology, that takes his wounds and allows his wounds to help others. He was wounded at birth and then later on in life. And that creates a meaningful life for Chiron because he goes and allows his pain to touch others that are going through the same pain. Next, please. So, with that being said, we have all these experiences, and how do they collectively, over one life, lead to a meaningful life? So they really are dependent, if you look at the examples, upon each person at that particular point in time. And imagine collectively over one life. So I choose to live my life as a woman of dignity and grace, mostly. And I think also that, right, having a spiritual connection is very important for me, and being an example, right? All those examples today were of me at different points in my life. And how did I take those and weave that into the person I am today, to stand before you and just give purpose and meaning to everything that I had gone through, and then to share it with others, to help the healing of others, and to hold the hope for those that cannot hold the hope. And that is my mission, and that is my meaning in life, that I'm able to hold that hope. So I don't know what happened